My name's Matt Estes. I work at Oak Electric. I'm a solar consultant, and I've been working in solar since 2009. I came back here to Michigan a few years ago after 10 years of experience in Southern California. So between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., electricity costs more. This is why I like west-facing panels. Not all of the panels to be facing west, but some of the panels to be facing west. Solar is going to produce electricity during the day when the sun is out. Do they produce on cloudy days? Yes. But like a lot of things on Earth, plants, solar panels do much better with the more sunlight that they have. So they're going to produce a lot more on sunny days, and they're going to produce a lot less on cloudy days. The more sunlight the panels get, the more direct sunlight that the panels get, the higher your production will be from the solar panels. Does solar work? Is it going to work for me? In most homes, yes, it is going to work. Most of the systems that I sell are paid cash. Yes, you will have another electricity bill again, and no, it's not free. Retired, they're single, they're on a lower fixed income, and they have a lower federal tax liability because the cost of electricity goes up annually. So if your cost avoidance, if your cost of electricity goes up every year, your savings continue to go up every year. Our electricity is billed on your electricity bill as kilowatt hours. An average house uses approximately 20 kilowatt hours per day, 600 kilowatt hours per month. Now, if you have a larger home, if you have more people living in your house, you may use a lot more electricity than that. And it varies, right? It's not exactly the same every single day or every single month or every single year. That this is a higher number in summer, and this is usually a lower number in the winter. If we want to offset 100% of our consumption annually, we want to produce 7,200 kilowatt hours per year. Now, how do we do that? How many solar panels do we need? Typically, panels are somewhere today right around 400 watts. That means under laboratory conditions, 100% perfect conditions, that panel being capable of producing 400 watts per hour. 10 of those, you have a 4 kilowatt system. That's your system size. Under perfect conditions, can produce 4 kilowatt hours. Your system will produce differently based on a couple different factors. One being your geographic location. Where are you actually at on Earth? Very importantly, what direction are these panels facing? Are they facing north? Never a good idea. West, a great idea for late afternoon production. East, a great idea for morning production. The best overall, of course, is south. Utility companies, like it is here in Michigan, when you're overproducing, selling it back to the grid, and you're getting credit for it. The way that it works here, and it is different in different places, and this is where it's important to check with your utility company. Don't just take the word of a contractor selling you a solar system. Check with your local utility company yourself on their website and on the phone to see exactly what that sellback rate is and what credit you will actually be getting. And note what contractor tells you that. When you're producing more than you're using and you're selling back, you're getting credit at the current rate of a kilowatt hour. We're on a time of use rate. So between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., electricity costs more, is higher than it is the rest of the day. I like west-facing panels. Not all of the panels to be facing west, but some of the panels to be facing west. Here's your roof. You got west. Here's another part of your roof. You got south. And if you have a really big roof and more of it facing east. Your west-facing panels are producing later in the day because the sun is setting in the west and pointing directly at these west-facing panels. Even though, yes, all day long, your south-facing panels are producing the most. Later in the day, when the sun is in the west-facing panels are producing more than the south-facing panels are because of the direct sunlight. So if you have some of your panels facing the sun later in the day, then you're able to use that electricity as it's being produced, offsetting this more expensive electricity. That's why I like west-facing panels. Early in the morning, if you have some panels facing east, you're going to be able to use that electricity as it's being produced, because east-facing panels are going to produce earlier in the day than the south-facing panels. Again, south-facing panels definitely produce more kilowatt hours than east or west. But there is a financial benefit to having some panels facing west if your cost of electricity and the credit that you're receiving is at a higher rate per kilowatt hour from 3 to 7 like it is here in Michigan. And a lot of places are like this. How to pay for solar. Cash, loan, lease, and a PPA. Cash is cash. You're going to pay with a check or cash or a credit card. A loan is a loan. There is going to be interest, and you're going to make monthly payments. A lease is a lease. You don't own it. You're leasing it. You're making monthly payments over the course of a 20 to 25 year period. A power purchase agreement, a PPA. A power purchase agreement means that you're agreeing to purchase the power produced by that solar system. If you lease or do a power purchase agreement, you do not own it. When you pay cash or you take out a loan, you own it, it's yours. I get questions, what's my payback? What's my return on investment? That is all based on a cash price. Payback, ROI, most of the systems that I sell are paid cash. The federal tax credit. Yes, there are some states that have tax credits for solar. Most states do not. Everyone does qualify for the federal tax credit. The federal tax credit is 30% of what was spent is earned back as a tax credit towards your federal income tax liability. I very often hear this tax credit referred to as a refund or a rebate, or the government's going to send you a check, or the government's going to pay you to go solar. None of that is true. It's a tax credit towards your federal income tax liability. I've worked with a lot retired. They're single. They're on a lower fixed income because the cost of electricity goes up annually. So if your cost avoidance, if your cost of electricity goes up every year, your savings continue to go up every year. Of the cash, that's the only time that really makes sense to try to calculate your payback or your return on investment. Second option to pay for solar is a loan. Monthly payments, typically somewhere between 15 to 25 years. We're fortunate here in Michigan to be able to qualify for a program called MySaves. We have long-term, low-interest rate loans that are not functioning like HELOCs. They're solar loans specifically. So there are a lot of solar loans out there across the country. Sometimes what I see is a very low interest rate, like 0 to 4%. Contractor pay fees in order to buy down interest rates, especially anywhere between 0 and 4% on loans. The fees are at 30%. 30% of the loan is paid to the bank immediately up front, and you're still as a homeowner paying somewhere between 0 to 4%.